What's going on, everybody? I realized that I didn't have that set to what I needed to have it set to, so everything just went a little bit quicker then. There we go. All right, everybody, welcome in. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a different kind of price, eh? $93,000 on BTC after a pretty challenging day, which is going to be pretty bullish. Raupal says that they delayed because of the debt cycle. Well, I've got a couple of videos all about that, and that could be the answer. Let's hope so, eh? Let's cling on to any shred of optimism we have in the market, but you could be right. That is the topic of this evening. Bull or bear? Are we about to head down, or is this just another little dip in the way to new all-time highs? We'll break it down. We'll get into kind of what's going on. I've got some pretty interesting charts to share with you guys that's just got me thinking, right? It's got me thinking. It's been bugging me most of the day, right? Something feels off, and I don't know why, right? And I might just be completely on like barking up the wrong tree, but something feels off. This whole Greenland thing, the fact that like the EU came out of the stalls hot yesterday. They're like, oh my god, we're gonna slam these tariffs on Trump. He's gonna get all this, and then today they're like, well, we'll probably talk about it. There's like some nuclear deal. You're like, what the hell is this? Like, where did all this come from? Something doesn't quite add up. And we'll talk a little bit about gold and silver. I want to get into that tonight as well as some big Ethereum news that I'm sure you guys are going to be interested in, as well as AVAX and BNB. So some pretty big news here. While the markets are literally collapsing amongst us, there is some interesting stuff going on. Does it mean that we're going to be into the biggest bull market cycle of the history of mankind? I don't know, but I know what I feel like. So we'll break into that as well, and we'll get into anything that you guys want to talk about. Any questions, thoughts, opinions, views, you name it. Got you covered, all right? All I ever ask, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're brand new to the channel, remember we live stream 6 days a week, bringing you all the latest in cryptocurrency news, reviews, technical analysis. We got you covered on the channel. Do you know what I mean? We've got you covered. TikTok. Shout out to you guys. All right, everybody. Right, let's get into it. It's going to be bullish. It's going to be a good show. I'm excited about it. Right, TikTok, I'm going to move you guys so you can see the screen. Ooh, I promise I will try not to... I promise I'll try not to, like, go super weird, all right? Super scorched earth when it turns back around the other way. If I could just sort my life out here with TikTok. All right, there you go. You can see the charts. Now, I know what some of you be thinking. You're like, whoa, hey, what's this to? But this is macro stuff. You're right. We're going all the way back to 2021. Like I said, something doesn't feel right. And I don't know what it is. All right, we're going to try and understand what it is and try and understand how this plays out. But here's the price of Bitcoin. All the way back to this FTX collapse here back in November 2022. For many of you will remember that. We were live streaming. We were live here on the channel talking about all the greatest and disasters that we've seen over the course of at least the last 4 and a bit years that we've been together. But this takes us all the way back to 2022. Now, many of you will remember this, which we had on here, which was like, oh, everything's groovy. Everything's kind of playing out nicely. 1 touch point, 2 touch points, 3 touch points, 4. Obviously, we broke down and we went to Goblin Town, all right? So, but you'll remember that move. But like I said, something feels off with this current market. And I might have some answers, all right? I don't know if I do or not. I want to walk it through you guys, and we'll get your view. We'll get your view at the end of this, which I think is important, all right? So this is kind of where we're setting up on the trade. Now, what I want to show you guys is obviously the futures opened for the crypto market. They opened on US stocks, and everything tanked. No surprise. We saw a massive sell-off. Bitcoin dumping to around 91,500. Alts getting absolutely demolished, as well as a number of other asset classes, all getting absolutely hammered on futures markets opened. Obviously, in the US, no particular trading markets, so we've got nothing in terms of ETFs to help us out, no institutional buying, which then leads you to believe, well, what the heck is going to happen in about 3 hours' time when the futures markets open again, and we obviously get Asia, and then obviously looking forward into what tomorrow looks like. So what we do know that rallied over the last 24 hours was gold, silver, and precious metals went crazy. So gold, for example, breaking new all-time highs, 46.70. Silver absolutely exploding on market open to around $94. Lots of people predict this is going to see $100 by tomorrow, telling us that at the minute, sentiment is very much risk off, all right? They're like, hey, not interested in getting to this crazy internet money. Like, I want to go risk off. I'm really nervous about where this market's going to go. But what is interesting here is when you overlay gold and silver to the Bitcoin price, there is definitely some interesting things going on. So as you can see back here at 2021, we obviously got a nice move here on gold and silver. So you see silver was down here trading at around $13 and it rallied all the way up to $28. All right, so that was a pretty big move here for silver. It was about 320% over the course of about 3 or 4 months. Gold, not so much, albeit the bigger move here on gold was actually not quite as big, but it was still nearly 100% move back in this move. Then what happened with BTC? BTC rallied about 500%. So again, what can we depict from this point here? This is why I'm saying, so gold and silver, we saw the peak here. And then obviously we saw the Bitcoin peak around about a year later on, 259 days to be precise. So slightly less than a year. And then we kind of saw the same happen as well. So what we got here is we got the kind of wick down of gold, and then we obviously got the following down from BTC as well. And actually, silver seems to correlate a little bit closer to gold, which is kind of interesting. Fast forward to where we are right now. And as you can see, we actually have a significant level of correlation between gold, silver, and Bitcoin, again, from this bottom end. So when FTX collapsed, which is here, right? This is the FTX collapse. Let's just put this on the chart so you guys can see it. I think it is important, this, right? So vertical line, FTX collapse is there, right? That is FTX. So FTX collapsed here. And let's put it on the chart. FTX collapse, all right? So this is kind of where FTX collapsed. What we can see here is up until this point, we actually saw a pretty widening gap from, the top of Bitcoin to the price of gold. Okay, so we saw a significant gap. This closed up as markets sold off, as people wanted to go a little bit more risk off and they wanted to go into a little bit more risk on. All right, so can you see that TikTok? There we go. So again, you can see this, right? What we can see here from the FTX app is we actually got a way closer significant correlation between gold, Bitcoin, and silver. And then we sort of got the halving, didn't we? That overexcitement. Bitcoin's like, everyone's going to get super hyped. We've got ETFs coming, like super news heavy, super bullish momentum. Everyone's like, oh my God, Bitcoin's going to the freaking moon. I need to buy as much Bitcoin as I possibly can. And then obviously we start to see this Bitcoin price rally. What we didn't see was gold and silver doing exactly the same. So gold and silver, albeit did rally, they just weren't as much as they were before. What's interesting here though is, look at the difference between there, about a 67% difference between the top of the Bitcoin price and the top of the silver price. Fast forward to kind of where we are, somewhere around here. What do you get? Well, you get about the same sort of price. So you got about 58% here on the silver move. If you go a little bit further, you get a little bit more. You got 64%. Very similar price depth here from BTC to silver. And what is also interesting here is, as you can start to see the price of BTC rally, we then saw gold and silver start to rally. What's changed, though, in my opinion, why is this very much a thing to think about, is the whole market, everyone's gone, oh my God, silver and gold, they are the new hottest thing in the world. I have to buy it. I'm super bullish on everything. We even saw some charts coming in from 2025 of just seeing how crazy the FOMO is on gold and silver. So actually what we're seeing right now is generally a normal play, right? A normal play that kind of happens, okay? So generally what we then see is the rotation into Bitcoin and rotation to risk on assets. That's generally 3 to 6 months post having new all-time highs on silver and gold, which is kind of where we are now. Puts us the middle of the year, about May. Could, again, do that. What are some of the other key things that drive this, though, that drive the potential move from gold and silver into Bitcoin? Well, for that, we need to add in the Fed interest rate, okay? So we're going to add in the Fed interest rate on this, which if we go here and we do the Fed's fund rate, what you can see here is, while we have a booming federal funds rate, what do we see? We see gold and silver relatively flat, because actually you've got interest rates here that are making loads and loads of money. When we see things rally in, interest rates are down. What's important here, though, is look at the federal funds rate coming down and gold and silver are skyrocketing. What's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin is following the exact same path as a federal funds rate, okay? You guys can see that, yeah? We just change the color of this one to, what should we put it as? Green? Is green a bit better? Green's maybe a bit better. And let's do it less hashed. So what can we decide for gold? This is quite a lot of stuff to kind of try and break down and try and get into any sort of idea as to kind of where it looks. But think about this, right? Gold and silver usually top in a cycle 3 to 6 months before Bitcoin rallies. This is generally seen as central banks moving to pivot. So they pivot on the fact that the federal funds rate is coming down. We also see fear or geopolitical risk is priced in. Well, geopolitical risk right now is not priced in. We don't know what the heck is going to happen with Greenland. Trump announcing today that he is 100% comfortable with putting more freaking tariffs on the EU. Gold will always top before risk assets. Always. And generally speaking, when you get the gold top, you get the move up for BTC. You can see it here. Look, for example, gold peaked here back in July of 2020. What happened? Bitcoin rallied then post that to the new all-time highs in April 21, which is generally about 9 to 10 months afterwards, okay? Again, when we come down off the rally, what do we see? We see gold pico here around April 2023. Gold rallies and Bitcoin rallies to these new all-time highs that we went in. The same could be happening right now. You could argue from the point in which we crossed, which would be March of 2025, Bitcoin's underperformed against gold for that duration of time. We saw exactly the same principle happen here. Well, when did it cross? It crossed here back in May 22, and then it crossed back about 546 days later when we got that back here on the bull market of 2023. Now, when you say, well, okay, well, the same sort of happenings up here, we crossed here. 526 days takes us to, guess what? About May, June, or early July time, all right? Pretty interesting. Now, I'm not saying that the whole, market should be built on the fact that gold and silver are pumping, because I do think it's been hugely driven out of FOMO sentiment, but think of it this way. Gold is essentially a way to manage fear in the markets. If the markets feel nervous, they feel like there is risk attached to it, gold will go absolutely parabolic because people will freaking dump into it. You can see what happened. Federal funds rate started to climb. People are shitting themselves. Like, oh my God, we're going into recession, bro. Gold starts to rally, and we're probably not out of it. The difference here, though, is when we see federal funds rate come down, we see Bitcoin go up. So this is probably playing out to be a pretty interesting move. What else is important to think about when you get these two narratives, by the way, that essentially yield becomes such an important bit. This is why the whole Coinbase situation is kind of wild. If you get yields, then this is generally seen as good news as well. So whenever we have higher geopolitical tensions, the Trump Greenland stuff, Venezuela, potentially Iran, it's Iran and UK, Iran and US, then we're going to see this kind of divergence, I think, we're going to see commodities continue to run. You're going to see gold and silver continue to print. People may be thinking that we're going to see, silver at $150, gold at 5,000. Pretty insane when you think about it. But eventually, and it maybe we see a bear market. And this is the question of tonight's show. Maybe we see a bear market. Maybe everything goes to freaking zero before we get a chance to see a Bitcoin pump. But if history tells us, then this is the same. Whenever gold and silver are going parabolic, Bitcoin should consolidate and build momentum. And that's what we've got to look at right now. Again, when you look at some of these moves, what do you see? You see silver rally and you see gold rally. Back here, look in 2020. What happened? Bitcoin just sat and did not a lot. All right. Same can be said here. At the bottom of the FTX market, when everyone was completely like, the market's done, $16,000 BTC, what happened? Gold pumped, silver pumped, and then Bitcoin caught up and rallied up. So you could argue, maybe we're just in this phase right now in that gold and silver are going crazy, right? The pivot confirmation is what we're looking for. When does gold and silver top? This would show that then Bitcoin starts to outperform. Now, again, this could be 6 months. We've seen it could be 2 years. That's the challenge. Capital will, however, rotate aggressively into risk on assets. I think it's going to be driven by Fed liquidity. The Fed himself buying $55 billion worth of new treasuries, which is kind of interesting. But these are the important things to think about, right? But gold and silver always tops first. So we are looking for a significant topping out when it comes to gold and silver. If we get that, well, it might absolutely be on. And I think that's probably where we need to look at. However, right, before we get our hopes and dreams up, right now, we are in a very interesting place here on the daily candles for BTC. And you can see here that we printed some pretty interesting charts on the back of all of that nonsense that came out of yesterday. But if I was to give you some sentiment of optimism, a little bit of hopium that you can look after, we are printing higher highs, higher lows, all right? So this could just be a higher low, okay? This is a macro uptrend. This is actually very bullish when it comes to the price of BTC. So think about it. Higher high, higher low, higher high, potentially higher low. What we need to see, key thing to think about here, everyone's putting their eggs in one basket. You know this channel's not about it. We need to see a bounce here off this current EMAs. Now, what's positive is we have got that bullish crossover coming here on the 20 and the 50, bouncing back to the upside, wicking off this perfect chance. Remember I said yesterday, it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see 91,500. We didn't. We may see it in the morning, potentially what happens to the US markets. But we could actually see this start to reverse. Why? There is some huge data dropping this week. I mean, big data, okay? That you need to be aware of. Now, if you caught my Bitcoin update video yesterday, you'll be like, Tubit, I already know. Bro, I'm locked in. I'm locked in because I watch your content. And just, I want to let you know you're the best. You're the best out there. And I'd be like, yo, I don't know where I'm going with this. I think the Bitcoin is better than gold at being gold. I think you're probably right. I think you're probably being right. Right, I want to show you this week, okay? So there is a lot of stuff going on this week, not just in the US. I think so many times we're like, oh, the US. And by the way, the US is a freaking big market that we absolutely need to be aware of. But sometimes I do think we get into this world where we're like, oh, well, everything's super, super crazy and super bullish and da-da-da-da-da. But there's actually a lot going on in the world that's going to affect our price of BTC. Man, my screen is way too small than I need it to be. Right, I need that. I need this. Okay, I'm just going to bring it up on the screen because it's actually way easier to see. So in terms of the economic calendar this week, we want to look at, obviously we've got some data coming in for inflation and also we have some jobs data coming in. But look at this. We want to look at a couple of areas. So we want to look at China. We're going to look at the UK. We're going to look at the EU zone because I think that's important. We'll look at United States, which is here. And who else do we need to look at? Who else is kind of big? Canada's probably not that big. Probably those. Okay, let's see if we can bring this up. Okay. This is going to tell us the data that we have that's coming up and what we can kind of expect. So, obviously today we got loads of CPI data coming out on the Eurozone. I don't actually know what happened with that, by the way. Does anyone else know? I'm such a noob. So look, CPI coming for the EU zone was pretty flat. Nothing too crazy going on. You can see that. CPI ex tobacco actually declined. All right, fine. You know what they do. They just slam loads more money on tobacco. It's good on DG. Good to see you, man. Welcome in. But we get even more. So Wednesday, core CPI for the UK. Pretty interesting. This at the same day, we're going to get all of that crazy US news. All right. So again, it could actually print. Man, that's really close. I'm sorry. Could actually start to print some pretty interesting data coming in for that. Thursday, we obviously get PCE coming in and everything else. So this could be the catalyst that drives this market back to the upside. And if the upside comes in, well then look, you're probably arguing we are going to be touching this bottom range here around 99,000 because that would then print us a potentially new higher high on this current trend. Now, I know what you're thinking, well, 2-bit, this is just all 2-bit much hopium. And I don't really care for what you're saying. Well, I get it. Let's go to a macro view. And I'm sorry, TikTok, I can't remember the 2-bit. Let's go to a macro view, okay? Well, what's the macro view telling us right now? Well, structurally, what have we got? Well, think about it. Look at this. You've got the higher high, the higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Big debate. So on a structural view at the weekly, daily, and even when you go down to the 12 hours, technically, this is perfect. Like, it's literally playing out exactly as we would expect it to. What we've got to see right now is this going to uptrend? Well, right now at the minute, this is looking like it does. So if it uptrends to it, what's the price action going to be? Well, the price action could definitely be if we see an upside move. What have we seen prior? This is going to be the key thing. Well, the last time we got this move here, what does it look like? Well, does it seem the same here? It's not far off. If you say, well, we get higher high, you're talking $159,000 in the bull market. Who the hell knows? Do you know what I mean? Who the hell knows? But I mean, that's structurally, when you look at some of this chart analysis, which is why it feels off. All right. People think I'm crazy. It feels odd. And I'm going to talk about why some more stuff. All right. Stuff for you guys tonight. Why it feels odd. So again, and the other thing I would just urge you to think about as well right now, right? Urge you to think about. We know the old tariff playbook. We've seen it so many times before. DJT. He knows what to do, all right? He knows exactly when to do it. Do you not think it's odd that it comes in when markets are closed? Oh, I'm just going to announce some freaking tariffs on Greenland when none of the markets are opened. Why? The old strategy. How do we make sure the playbook comes in? The Trump tariff cycle timeline, all right? Pretty interesting, okay? And it actually plays out pretty favorably, as we've seen a number of times before. The Friday late night hint post. We're going to invade Iran. We're not invade Iran. That's not the right word. We're going to go after Iran, all right? We're going to move a strike carrier group in. Iran's going to get it. All right, okay. Monday futures gap down, stock sell off. Well, that kind of feels like something happened today. Yeah, 0 to 9 days. The shock regime. We're going to dump everything. The Trump dump. Exactly. Treasuries reassures on television. Scott Bessent goes on and says, hey, guys, you need to chill out, all right? You need to chill out. It's fine. Trump knows what he's doing, all right? Everyone just needs to relax. Have I seen Scott Bessent on TV over the last 2 days? Yes. Scott Bessent went on today and was like, hey, it's fine. Not only has Scott Bessent gone on and started giving it the big one about the Federal Reserve, he also went on about the fact the US needs Greenland and that the EU can't control it. Pretty wild, all right? So the narrative plays out pretty much bang on. Trump post working on a solution. Okay, Worry about Ukraine. Don't worry about Russia. It's fine. Fine. We're going to get it. Markets kind of feel a little bit more optimistic. It's like, oh, it's okay. We're going back to the moon. And then we close the argument. All right, it's all fine. It's done with. Don't worry about it, right? Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. And then look, the weekend formal tariff announcement. How does this one plays out? The VIX spike. VIX moves lower. Equities indices move prior. An announcement of historic after the deal. Does this mean that Trump gets Greenland? I don't think it's about Greenland. I don't think it's about Greenland. I don't think it was ever about Greenland. Really, if I'm dead honest. If you overlimited yourself or you're short, a big mistake. I mean, Selma, I'm kind of leaning towards that way. Definitely everything comes back to tariffs. It really does, beeps. Yo, what a time to be alive. Mike Bennett, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Test them 2-bit. See who's been watching your vids. Exactly, Curtis. Well, we talked about this on some of the vids, and if you didn't see them, then you are literally missing out. Just in my opinion, by the way. And you probably don't think that, but I do. So this is kind of playing out pretty interesting. So let's talk about why that would be then. Why would Trump want to dump this? Why does he want to make it painful? All right. Well, because he needs freaking leverage. All right. He needs the American people to feel like they've got money coming in. How do you do that? Well, you dump the price of things. You make everything feel a little bit better. How do you, don't worry. No one cares about the crypto market. Got to understand this, right? As much as it is our world and as much as it's the biggest thing in the world that we care about, no one else cares right now. No one else gives a flying fuck about this market. Only us, right? Only us. But everyone cares about the gold price. Everyone goes crazy for where gold is going to go. And people think it's going to go way higher, right? So what you have here is, I think personally, this repositioning of economic outlook from Trump ahead of midterms and ahead of some of the big key things coming up over the course of the next few weeks. He needs good CPI. Don't forget, I talked about this yesterday. Trump is going to speak on the same day they announce US GDP. They're going to be on the same day they announce PCE. So you've got loads of this macro data stuff that's going to feel bad, right? It's going to be like, oh my God. But maybe, just maybe, it doesn't come in bad. We also have the job data coming out tomorrow, which could be interesting as well. Trump will always come out at the weekend when the market is closed. Exactly. It's the playbook as old as time. It's a playbook as old as time. The bigger debate is, when does this happen? When does that gold capital rotate? So what is Trump's play here? Why the whole Greenland stuff? Is it leverage against Russia? No, debatable. I think, right? And I'll get your thoughts on it, and I want you guys to give me your opinions and your views on it. I think it's about this stuff. Here's my opinion, right? You got to stick with me here, guys. Here is my opinion. It's all about this. It's all about this. It's all about the price of oil. That's my opinion, right? Now, why is it about the price of oil? That's the big question you've got to ask yourself. Well, when we looked at CPI data last time and the time before, what was the biggest driver of negative CPI? Why didn't CPI come down? Shelter, housing, all right? And fuel, particularly petrol, or particularly, fossil fuels, whatever it is. I absolutely think it's about this. What was one of the biggest things Trump did in his first term that he leveraged as an economic superpower? It was the fact that he stored, saved, and had huge amounts of oil reserves, again, that they could run without buying oil and all the rest of it. And I think, again, to your point, Mike Bennett, it says the debt payment is coming due and interest is too high. He has to cut interest rates. And how do you make people feel like things are cheaper? You absolutely make the cost of running things and the cost of putting petrol in your car cheaper, right? That's the biggest thing in the world. If someone said to you, hey, I'm going to pay for your fuel or I'm going to buy you shopping, I guarantee you people pick fuel every single time. It's a playbook, in my opinion, by the way, and it's leverage about oil. Even Scott Bessent himself says, and weirdly, Keir Starmer has said, well, look, as the Arctic ice melts, this is going to unlock trade routes, potential easing of shipping. We could start to get oil. What did Trump come out? What Scott Bessent say today as well? The EU, Trump said in Trump 1.0, do not build Nord Stream 2. Do not rely on Russia for oil because they are going to shaft you. What is happening? Exactly that. But old Donny Boy's got 50 million barrels of Venezuelan crude on its way. All right, well, what a better way to get some trade moving than buy oil. So I think in all this, and actually oil futures, by the way, priced negative 2.51, all right? One of the biggest move downs in just commodities that we've seen. It's actually the biggest that we've seen. So gold's going crazy, silver's going crazy, Bitcoin dump, oil, worst to perform in all of them, right? 75% of my business cost is fuel. Exactly, Robert Dover. What about if DJT's like, hey, Robert, I'm going to take 10% off your fuel costs. Why? Because I've got some beautiful Venezuelan oil that you want. I think it's a playbook, and I think that sets him up for longer term interest rate cuts because you're going to get Kevin Walsh. It's going to be this. We talked about this the other night, actually. On I think it was Friday. He is going to hit this hard. The economy is going to be like, you're going to be like, oh my God, are you tired of winning? Are you tired of winning? Yeah, I'm tired of like cheap gasoline and oil and oh my God. I actually think this is a super crazy playbook. And if he plays it, like if he gets it right, this is how insane I think the bull case is for this. He keeps control of the house. You get interest rates at 1% by midterms and everything's going absolutely wild. Now, the problem is the bear case comes in about 18 months where the market's completely collapsed. We go into one of the deepest recessions we've seen in the last 50 years. But anyway, who cares about that? Don't fucking worry about that just yet. Let's worry about getting Bitcoin to $160,000. That's the big thing. All right. That's where we want to get to. So Alpha says economy is going to be awesome soon. I actually insanely think that could be a thing. And I think if we can get, by the way, and I have to just rein myself back in a little bit because people will go, hold on a minute, but you're fucking bearish yesterday. How come you've all of a sudden gone like macro super bullish? I'm not, by the way. And I'm still very much in a line that says, still probably bearish. I am definitely bearish on the fact we didn't close above 95,500 yesterday. I definitely wanted to see that close a little bit higher, but hey, it didn't come in. But if we get a reversal here, which right now, given the size of this wick, this is one of the biggest wicks we've seen since Monday, the 12th of January, which then proceeded a nice big move on the Tuesday. I don't necessarily believe this is going to happen tomorrow, by the way. But if this starts to print back to the upside, then absolutely, we are going to get to the bull market go or no-go zone, which we've had on here now, which is around $99,000. And that could be coming as early as late Jan into Feb. Now, why is that important, you may ask? And you're like, oh my God, Tumi just hitting us with all the facts right now. The hell is going on? This live stream I just come to mess about and do not much. Well, what do you get landing February the 2nd? ISM manufacturing data. Why is that going to be important, I hear you ask? Because if Trumperino can dump the price of oil, then manufacturing all of a sudden is going to feel a bit cheaper. Like Robert Dover says, 75% of his industry cost is fuel. I mean, imagine it's not going to be there. And you go, well, what the heck, 2-bit? Why is no one else talking about this? I don't know. And then boom, February the 6th, the same week on the Friday, you get non-farm job rails, payments, and the Michigan consumer sentiment. All right. And then Wednesday, the 11th of February, boom, you're into CPI again. All right. So that's my opinion. It's an ethos. Where am I sitting on the bull bear scale? Who the hell knows? You guys tell me, right? You guys tell me. We're going to talk about a few of the bits and pieces. Then you can cast your vote halfway through the show. All right. But that's my opinion. Like I said, something feels off. From a technical standpoint, we feel actually pretty good. You eat steak, I eat steak. That's why my both trades go SL above session. Nice core. Beautiful. I did look to short the market last night, but I didn't get in. I thought this is where you lose money because you're like, oh my God, I need to get in this short. So I sacked it off. I didn't bother. Didn't bother, by the way, but some of you did. Some of you crushed it. Don't forget, Bitunix, our trade partner of choice. When you go over there, some brilliant bonuses. Okay, YC. We actually sorted something out for someone who's trading over there as well. So check out the link in the bio. Also in my free Discord and in the description down below. So jump over there, grab an account. Definitely worthwhile in my opinion. All right. So that's my thesis of where the markets are going to go. I don't necessarily believe I'm going to be right. I don't know if I'm going to be right. We will see. But there are some other things that are worth noting here as we walk through some of this bigger data. One of the main things is, hold on a minute. Sorry, what's that? We've got massive capitulation in the market. Everyone's freaking out. People are selling all their cryptocurrency. And what? The New York Stock Exchange is going to support a 24/7 trading through tokenized stocks and blockchain settlements? What? Hold on a minute. And you're telling me this allows 24/7 trading with instant settlement and fractional share access like crypto markets? Oh, I didn't see this one coming. Oh, and investors will still get real ownership, dividends, and voting rights. Only infrastructure moves to blockchain. Pardon? New York Stock Exchange is also working with BNY. Oh, there's a surprise. And Citi to move tokenized money and collateral on-chain. The Wall Street adopting crypto rails, not crypto adopting Wall Street. What? Where the hell did this come from? Hold on a minute. You're telling me that the bear market's around the corner, that the market's dumb. Trump just put some tariffs on the EU, and now the New York Stock Exchange is tokenizing everything. Oh, man. It's hard work right now. Trump is not happy with some EU leaders that are laughable. I mean, that's kind of true as well. I like Keir Starmer today. I phoned Donald. It's like, no, you didn't. You phoned his assistant and got put on hold. Trump said if the USA doesn't go after Greenland, Russia and China will. Yeah, I mean, he said that, but China have come out and said, stop using China to go and pursue your own political interests. It was like one of those really like, China just kind of went, Greenland, who cares about Greenland? We're just buying everything anywhere else. Quite a world. Mr. President, Russia and Alaska can ring each other's doorbell. Oh, anyway, pretty crazy if you ask me. And this New York Stock Exchange thing is wild as well, like totally wild. Who would have thought this would have come out on a day like today, just out of nowhere? It's like, oh, the New York Stock Exchange tokenized and everything. Watch out, Ondo Finance might be a winner. We've been holding on for it for a while. Fingers crossed. Let's get it. Let's get Ondo Finance absolutely sending to the moon. Oh, anyway, all right, good. Pretty wild. And then look, just to summarize this bit off. Technical analysis, tariffs are going to crash the markets. Oh no. It's wild. Got to be careful, all right? There is a no-win scenario. No Limit here giving us a view saying that tomorrow could be the worst day of 2026. I'll get your thoughts in a minute. The buffer indicator, the market cap GDP just hit 224%. That's an all-time record. It's higher than the dot-com bubble, which we already know is kind of nonsense because it's been driven by the AI. But the Schiller PE is hovering near 40, and we've only seen this once in 150 years, right before the 2000 crash. Trump's not going to let it crash, in my opinion, right? He's going to do everything he humanly can to run this economy like crazy. Mike says there's been something else going on, disclosure coming. Maybe. YMCA was on the phone, whole music. Oh, dear me. I can absolutely imagine it. New York Stock Exchange going to... Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's wild, right? It's wild. But this is the one thing we need to look out for. Margin tomorrow. Margin is the one thing to keep your eyes peeled on. If that comes in, maybe. I still don't believe, by the way, because this is wrong here, they're effective from the 1st of Feb, allegedly. Now, again, if Trump was dead serious about strong-arming on Greenland, he'd be like, tariffs are on from Tuesday. No. It's like, oh, you got 2 weeks, boys. 2 weeks. Then they're coming in. Interesting. Ondon Plume, Husky Tom, bullish. Canton, yeah, it's getting close to a buy zone. We said this, didn't we, the other day? We were like, oh, keep your eye on it. It's going down. Lost the 50-day EMA here on Canton. So did actually wick down to a pretty interesting buy price. Again, market uncertainty would be insane to be buying the dip right now, in my opinion. XMR is pumping, by the way, no surprise. But yeah, it got to the 10s, Canton. I did think about buying it, but I didn't. I probably should have done, in fairness. I was starting to think if we didn't have tariffs, Bitcoin would have hit 200K. I mean, maybe. Remember, tariffs are like a metaphor, aren't they? Tariffs are a little bit of a metaphor. They're metaphors for uncertainty. That's the thing. That's why the markets were really uncertain with the Biden administration. They're really uncertain around going into the kind of election. That's why they pumped on the election night. Like, Bitcoin's super susceptible to any kind of macro uncertainty. And I think, tariffs create that because you don't know what the retaliatory tariffs are. You don't know how people are going to react. People start to freak out. You think about like the EU and the US, like that is a big trade partnership. And just from a strategic partnership, like it's a big deal. Like, I mean, I don't think we'll go to war. I think the EU are kind of coming out and saying, hey, let's just try and talk this through. Probably makes a bit more sense. The EU's that fractioned anyway. Like they were never going to have any sort of leverage. So again, it's definitely an interesting point to think about. But yeah, Canton, I definitely think is coming to a buy zone. I'll probably want to see a little bit more optimism, a little bit more bullishness probably in Canton before I maybe take a dip on it. But yeah, I'm tempted by it, 100% tempted. XRP rallied a little bit, broke back below $2, but I mean, that's an insane wick down at 185. But look at the buy pressure coming back on an XRP. That's a big old wick buy in. I mean, the chart's insane, but again, wicking off this downward sloping trend line just below it. Key areas. What's important here is just how well some of these have absolutely delivered on structure. So, worthwhile thinking about, in my opinion. All right. But keep your eyes out. We'll look at the futures in just a minute because that would be worthwhile. Now, dead quick. Ethereum buy sparks record reserves, $2 billion. I still think people are going to miss out on Ethereum, just in my opinion. Relax says Zebek has taken off today. Yeah, it's had a couple of good days, actually. Price at the store for everything are way up in DC. Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. I mean, that's the point, isn't it? Well, how do you get those prices to come down? You make the cost of running that business cheaper and you bring costs down in terms of interest rates. And that's exactly what he's doing. Whether he gets rid of, Powell, I mean, they've doubled down on Powell, haven't they? And Trump's trying to distance himself from it a little bit, which is interesting. But strategic ETH reserves climbed to 22.52 billion after large holders added 2 billion in just a month, with ETF holdings rising to 20.85 billion. Like, people are absolutely grabbing hold of those ETFs, which is wild. Charlie says, just over from TikTok, bullish. What's going on, bro? Welcome. Yeah, TikTok's been doing that super weird thing again where it just, like, everyone just hates me over there and no one comes and watches the show, but it's fine. Oh, yeah, invite Charlie. I can see you over there. Trump knows the acquisition of Greenland would give the US control of an island. That's seen as crucial to our defense. Exactly. Whether it is or not, I mean, is set to be a debate. I mean, I've always sort of stood on this narrative, by the way. that if Russia, China, and the US go to war, like it ends the world. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of it. Because it's going to take one of them to press a button and kaboomsy. That's it. Anyway, ETH test 200-day moving average again, raising concerns over a possible 20% price pullback. I don't see it. I think ETH's holding up pretty well. Again, look at the structure on ETH. Very, very optimistic indeed. Higher high, higher low, higher high. We're looking for a reversal. Guess what? Of the 20-day EMA. Could bounce us to the upside. And again, this is why I think the rest of this week could end up being actually reasonably bullish. I know not in terms of price. You know, people will say, well, too bad you said this week was going to be bullish. And I thought Bitcoin was going to break new all-time high. No. We could definitely see some more upside momentum coming in towards the back end of this week, which would tell us that short-term nervousness is probably favoring long-term bullishness. That's my opinion. But the US already has total military control on oil and rare earth, full access. I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know how big their military operation is over there. I mean, like I said, I don't think it's about Greenland. I don't think it's about tactical superiority. I don't believe that for a second, actually. I think it's a different bear. But anyway, watch out for Ethereum. I think people are going to miss it. I think it could be seeing some move. Right, big news, by the way. PancakeSwap approved a cake supply reduction to 400 million tokens. Whee! They're going to get rid of 50 million tokens. I actually think that's a pretty big number, by the way. I don't know what the price of cake is. But anyway, supply cut approved unanimously by the community aims to enhance Cake's value stability while influencing PancakeSwap's tokenomics and future ecosystem dynamics. Watch out. BNB is definitely going to get a pump. All right, I think with that happening, then that could be worthwhile. Keeping your eye out for it. And then look, this one was definitely another interesting bit here. Bitcoin's hash rate declines. Miners are selling Bitcoin, but analysts say this is good news. All right, good. Dump it. According to Van Straten, the hash rate, which represents the total processing power of Bitcoin network, fallen approximately 15%. Miners are turning it off. Why? Cost of things are too expensive. What are you going to do? Bring the cost down. It's all about oil, baby. It's all about oil. Way better than the screen view over here, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I do need to try and make it. Maybe that's why people just don't like watching me on TikTok. Because it's just my face. But I can't work it out. I am literally on holiday in about 2 weeks. I'm going to do it then. I'm going to hook it up so that the screen you guys see here, you're going to see on TikTok as well. Hey, thank you for the rose. Appreciate it. Although TikTok's kind of like a bit chatty, isn't it? We just don't have enough chatty people. But thank you for the rose. I appreciate it. Greenland has lots of space for new golf courses. I mean, that's true as well, Stu. But the trend also reflects in Glassnode's hash ribbon indicator, which measures miner capitulation. Indicator revised 20th and 9th of November, coinciding with Bitcoin's bottoming at around $80,000. So again, miners are selling. We've seen this before. Miners generally sell to the bottom and then start to hold as price comes back up. So worthwhile. Finally, a little bit of news on Avalanche. C-Chain daily usage surge set new records. Hey, Avalanche might be coming back, everybody. Great news. Let's hope so, eh? It's been a minute. Avalanche, in my opinion, way underpriced. And hopefully, we'll survive. But 1275 is freaking insane. What I don't like about this, though, similar to kind of Solana, really, under some pretty severe key support areas. So, if you're looking for a buy the dip opportunity, there's a couple out there. Definitely Solana, probably a little bit. AVAX probably is one of those as well. But yeah, pretty interesting when you ask me on some of these. Zebek up 3.9. It's actually starting to, again, print. Zebek, look at this. Really good. Again, what we're seeing hopefully on BTC in a smaller scale. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Printed a higher high. So in theory, if you work on Zebek, by the way, as markets rally, Zebek will come back down and print a higher low before going back higher. I mean, in theory, if that is enough indication that markets are about to pump, I don't know what else you need. Anyway, my opinion, right? So, it could be pretty interesting in all of this. The big thing will be where we get in terms of some of this economic data. And like I said, any and what happens tomorrow when the market's open. Now, the good news is for the crypto market is actually we've seen a lot of price activity washed out already. So the big one will be, what do the US markets open like tomorrow? Well, the answer is, they already look like they're going to be a bit naff. All right. So you can see here, look, the Dow Jones pricing in a 400-point decline on open. You can see here the S&P 500 down about 60. It's going to be tasty. The NASDAQ down 274 with the Russell down 2404. You see the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, albeit is negative 1%. Look at this. Massive dumping in Europe, as you'd expect. And then you get into commodities. What's happening? Silver potentially even going to rally after hours. Like I said, the VIX, look at the VIX volatility on the S&P 500. So we might get this massive dump open and then a potential rally back in as people step in and buyers step in. Maybe. We'll have to kind of wait and see. All right. Let me bring this up just so I've got it. We'll see kind of what's happening. What I would say has been increased trading demand here. Let's keep an eye on where we are with the price of BTC. Just on the order book, I think it's worthwhile keeping up on the screen just so we can jump into it if we need to. But yeah, that's kind of where we sit. So I guess that then leads me to chuck this out and say, do you think we are going to see the ... bull run, bear market, yeah. All right. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that, bro. There we go. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right. So, cast your vote. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys think. Are you bullish, bearish? Do you think they've got an opportunity for a bull market? Do you think we're going to see a bear market? I'm curious. All right. Currently, we've got a lot of negative trend catalysts that could see markets push down way quicker. But some of the core structures, some of the bigger things, right? Things like Ethereum staking is skyrocketing. Institutions we'll take a look at in a minute as well. What are we watching for? What are we looking for? Are we seeing any of them mass panic? Now, I didn't see a Sailor buy today. I don't know if any of you guys did or not, but I didn't see a Sailor buy. So maybe Sailor's a bit like, might kind of wait and see what happens, all right? Maybe I'll just sit tight and see. We'll see what happens. BlackRock, obviously, nothing yet. Worthwhile keep an eye out for expectations when markets open. What are we going to see? Is BlackRock going to buy? Yeah, 8 years sideways. Ain't no stopping now. Ain't no stopping us now. We're going down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Right, Bitcoin ETFs. Let's take a look. Bottom of the bear flag. Think we can push up down. Excuse me. Think we can push up 98 before trading down hard? Maybe. I want to see us break above. So, what can we expect? Maybe, just maybe, we're pricing in a little bit of buy the dip momentum. This could be good news. You know, potentially we're setting up for a little bit of buying here from BlackRock, a little bit here from Grayscale. ARC 21 is normally a good indicator of where they're going to go. So nothing too crazy going on. Obviously, I know markets are closed, but maybe this is pricing in what we could see based on those wallet announcements as well. Because you could argue and say, well, what happened on Friday? Well, BlackRock bought a shit ton more than that. They bought way more than 158 Bitcoin. Way more than 158 Bitcoin. So we could argue this isn't what that's looking at. So this could be pricing in. We always said this. This is potentially customer demand going into the open. So weirdly, you might get this complete mass panic on stocks, and then you might get this buy the dip opportunity when it comes in on BTC. We'll have to see. I'm looking for it. And by the way, if that does play out, then we might actually get a nice little move here, and we could start to print that. We'd only take one green candle today, another green candle tomorrow. All of a sudden, by the end of the week, you might be retesting this. You might be retesting this range again, which would be pretty interesting as well. 94 and a bit. There we go. I don't like Goblin Town, Beebs. I know the feeling. Selling green and buying red is a good habit if you can do it. Absolutely, Mike Bennett. But it's been buy the dip since January 2025. I mean, it hasn't though. Come on. January 2025 is here. This was buy the dip. This was sell some. This is buy the dip, which then in theory, based on our literally nuanced logic, this is going to be sell some, which technically puts us at about March 26. Maybe. I mean, who knows? Let's hope so, eh? Let's hope so. But yeah, it definitely feels, I know you're feeling like at the minute, it feels like this just doesn't matter what we do, what the charts say they're going to do. Nothing seems to play out favorably. We seem to be losing the argument. Buy stocks, buy AI. That's what we should have done. Everyone should have bought ChatGPT. We'll see. Larry, what's going on? Bitcoin Cash. All right, we don't have BCH on here. Let's put it on it. Let's put it on my charts. Let's get Bitcoin Cash on here. Let's do it. Let's get it. Spot crypto Bybit. Oh, I don't want perpetual contracts. I want spot crypto. That's what I want. Yeah. There we go. Let's get that one. Let's put Bitcoin Cash on the list, everybody. Let's do it. Let's get it up here. And let's put it. Do we want? I mean, let's put it. Yeah, let's put it down here. All right, Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash. I mean, look at that. It's insane. Bitcoin Cash going to the freaking moon. I mean, I remember this being about $3,500 though, which is actually insane. BMX even 2-bit. I bought XRP on the dip last night. Nice. You're already up on that play then, bro. You're already up on that play. I mean, yeah, look at this. You know, the structure on BTH is pretty interesting. In fairness, it's probably doing what BTC should have done, isn't it? Look at that. Touch point. You may be about to see a bounce, by the way. Bounce back above 648 could actually print a really. I mean, look at that. That is kind of pretty crazy, actually. Look at that upward channel. Nice. Bounce of the bottom range. Break the 20-day EMA. Retest this upper range. 642 breakout. Might end up being pretty bullish here on... might end up being pretty bullish on BCH. I didn't even look at how crazy this chart was. Look at that. Interesting structure. Break above that. Head to that 1618, 778. Could be on the cards maybe pretty soon. Hey, Vern. What's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Don't forget, Vern and I back live like Renegade Masters Wednesday night, bringing you the latest and greatest with TikTok appeal. Remember, if you're on TikTok, you can come and join us. Just come up. It's going to be epic. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, buddy. BCH 589. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, look at that. But a break to the 1618, 778 definitely could be on the cards from a breakout above this line here. Pretty interesting. Bitcoin Cash. Who knows? Who would have thought that would have been crazy? All right, let's keep an eye on what's going on with BTC right away. Economic calendar. See you later. I'll keep the pre-markets open just in case we want to double back and have a quick look at those. BlackRock we've done. ETFs we've done. Order book. Man, super lame trading right now in the order book. Come on, bros. Start buying some BTC. Let's do it. Let's do it. Should have bought sand. Well, I saw that. The sand narrative, the gaming coin narrative, all starting to push, interestingly. Sort of fizzled out pretty quickly, though, with this. But, yeah, we'll see. Head and shoulders patterns in and rug there. Oh, do you see that white whale thing rugged? A white whale thing's down to like 20 milli market cap, which is insane, if you ask me. By the way, if you haven't already, just consider giving us a quick like if you're enjoying the live stream content. Also, don't forget, free Discord. Get your sends in there. Get a little bit more access, trading all these favorite coins, getting alerts, as well as using 2 bots to really set up your strategies. Then join the premium Discord. Dead simple. Grab a channel membership. It's super easy. About $6 a month. Again, at the bottom of the screen, click join button and you're in. All right. Gives you access to our premium Discord. Definitely, in my opinion, worth $6. All right. Good. So we have discussed that. We've discussed that. What's the general consensus? 61% of you believe the bull market is around the corner. Beautiful. Let's hope so. Hey, let's hope so. Yeah. we feel overdue a bull market move anyway. All right. Good. If you guys got any questions, any thoughts, this is kind of your part of the show and what's on your mind, feel free to drop it in the chat. Let us know. Equally, if you got any coins that maybe you got into and you wish you hadn't, let us know. We'll take a look at those as well. Again, it's a over to you guys kind of part of the show. We've talked about the macros. We'll see what the open looks like tomorrow. Pre-markets look terrible. So, yeah, it could be pretty spicy. Does it and is it a buy the dip opportunity? Quite possibly. Geopolitical events generally are. In fact, why don't we, really quickly, why don't we do this? Let's look at historic geopolitical events in the last 5 years. How's XRP looking to you? It's looking all right, actually. Yeah, XRP was moving up nicely. I'd like to see it back above $2, but for me, this support structure is what we were saying. Fairground, what's going on, bud? This support structure is really important. With some of these key coins, a break on these. The chart is wild, though. I mean, this is insane, and this is a continuation of the downside. So short term, XRP is a little bit bearish. You know, this is a downtrend, so you need to break the 20-day EMA at about 205. But this wick down here gives you some confidence that you've got a big amount of buyers that stepped in on this. I mean, that's from like 184 all the way back up to 199 is a big old buy back in. But this trend is definitely not ideal when it comes to XRP. Not good. Not good. But you could argue that for a number of them. All right, so what have we got here? The last 5 years, roughly 21, 26 major Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. When was that? When was the Russia thing? February of 2022. All right, let's look. February 2022. What happened to the price of BTC? That's what we want to know. February 2022. Here we go. Look, August. So February. Okay, so it must be here. Look, so this is kind of. Oh no, it's 21. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. February of 2022 is here. All right. So yeah, so around this sort of time. So this is kind of Russia here. All right. So let's put that on the chart. Let's do a vertical line. Let's do that. All right. All right. Let's do that. So this is Russia. I'll put Russia. Oh, Russia invasion. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. So that's kind of that. So we've got FTX collapse here, Russian invasion there. Right. What else do we get? Russian invasion of Ukraine, Israel-Palestine conflict was ongoing. Sudan in 23. That doesn't really help us, does it? US-China rivalry. Phase 1 deal in 2020. Space race is a pretty interesting one, isn't it? So October. Doesn't really help finding any of these dates. XRP looks weak as space. I mean, maybe. Right, here we go. Look, this is a bit of a better angle. All right, cool. Let's bring this. Right, 2022. What do we get here? Look at some of this. Kazakhstan changed its name to the capital. Okay, no one cares about that. Denmark, Canada agree a partition. All right, that doesn't help anything. Occupied territories, 30th of September 22 is here. So these are, these are kind of big dumps. All ahead, by the way, of the collapse of FTX. Kind of interesting. 23. Palestine military group Lebanon has launched this. Oh, yeah, October 7th. All right. What did that do? October 7th, 2023. Here. Oh, I didn't really do anything. Made a little bit of a push down. That's about it, really. But then Bitcoin went crazy, so... I guess what does it tell us without going super crazy in it? I thought there was going to be way more in it. Bermuda, don't even know what that means. Iran invasion, next 2 bits, gonna, do you think? I think Trump's kind of gone, I mean, maybe. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. It's like a bit of a play. Oh, I'm not going to go into Iran. I'm more bothered about Greenland. And like tonight, like boom, it's all gone crazy. But the unfolding event, especially with Greenland, might not necessarily be bearish. And it could be, in fact, a turn out bullish. Exactly, Bitunix. That's what we were saying. So I guess the point, outside of FTX collapse, which is a direct link to the price of BTC, we've kind of seen moves on the back of geopolitical events, which probably leads us to believe that maybe this actually turns out, like Bitunix says, to be slightly more bullish. However, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to see a little bit more macro uptrends. We need to see this reversal come in and probably start to push to the upside. So unless we get that, maybe we don't get it as much as we maybe would hope so. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. Are we expecting a big dump on market opens tomorrow? Yes. Maybe. Kevin says, what about Manchester United? What about them? Arca said, I've never seen so much fearful news. One after the other. No end to it. Yeah, true. But whenever the market is at the weakest chance, whenever people are the most freaked out, it's generally in the market's rally because that's what they want you to know. They want you to feel like you should sell and get out of the markets. I mean, at the same time, though, you've got to do what's right for you. But yeah, it feels pretty wild at the minute. It does feel pretty wild at the minute. But let's see. I mean, it's another day. It's another dawn. And hopefully it's a slightly better one than we've got right now. Like I said, markets open midnight for more futures markets. We obviously get the Asia markets, etc. Over the course of that kind of midnight, for me anyway, so that's like in 2 hours, 10 minutes time. We'll see what that looks like. I was typing in the Discord last night. There's a couple of us chatting away in there. By the way, if you're not in the Discord, check it out. All right, it's worth it, in my opinion. I'm slightly biased, though, when it comes to the Discord because it's class. That's class. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What's on your mind? It'd be interesting to know what you guys think. Remember, YouTube rewards engagement. So feel free to chat away. Let us know what you think. I want to get your opinions, your thoughts, what your price predictions are for Bitcoin by the end of this week. Chuck them in the chat as well. Let's get it. Let's get it. Voting. Definitely people feel a little bit more bearish. It's over. Help. Axe, I thought you were in full stablecoin. I thought you sold everything. You must be like sat there just like, man, this is bullish. Like, send it to zero right now. I'm sat ready. Axis, I'm so confused. The market is doing what it shouldn't be doing on a number of times. Why? Because you've got the old Trumperino is creating chaos. And that's just the stark, honest, harsh reality of it. And I think this whole strong arm of like, oh, I'm going to tariff you if you don't sell me Greenland is insane. Like I said, that's my opinion is the fact I don't think it's about Greenland. I think it's about something else, but that is yet to be seen. Taking some profits at 104. Nice, Bitunix. Like it. Yeah. Take him on the way up, baby. That's the way to do it. Right. All right, everybody. Let's see. World War 3, GTA 6, then Moon. Viva says, I'm here driving, but I'm here. Use the voice text chat, some engagement words. Words. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Keep your eyes well and truly focused on the road, though. That's what it's all about. All right. Let's see if anything is going on news-wise. I haven't seen any kind of crazy announcements that's coming out. Stocks sink as the US Euro turmoil. You see, when that kind of sorts itself out, well, it might be, we might kind of actually start to get a little bit of movement, maybe. Maybe we get a little bit of movement. I don't know. Markets, you can see there. Well, Wall Street hot 226 trades from AI. No one cares about that. Gold and silver jumped to record highs and green lift tariff. So, yeah, I mean, if a deal struck, then maybe we get a little bit more move. Maybe. Obviously, weaponizing $10 trillion of the US asset is a tough ask for Europe. What? Iran. Crypto Jeffrey's word drops Bitcoin on threat of quantum computing. Man, it's always the same, isn't it? Do you advise to invest in crypto? Wait till the price drops more. I personally would wait right now. That's what I'm doing. So I've got some stablecoin. I am just waiting to see what happens because I think it's really, really risky now. Massive uncertainty. There isn't a deal worked out in Greenland. Potential threats on Iran. Yeah. Is it? I mean, you could maybe DCAing if you were thinking about that, but at the minute, I'd be like, well, you know, what is the risk upside to downside? Would you be more bothered about missing out on some gains and losing everything, or are you more bothered about losing a little bit of profit and getting in at the right price? That's what you gotta ask yourself. Men in Black gonna zip. Yeah, maybe, Mike. Oh no. Let's hope not, eh? Let's hope not. Don't forget, Davos is on as well. So when does Trump speak at Davos? Is that Thursday or Wednesday? I can't remember. I don't think there was too much came out of it today, to be honest. Davos, Trump looms large over the biggest ever World Economic Forum. I mean, did he speak today? Did he speak today? I haven't seen any clips of that. No way. Apart from the snow and temperature, Greenland does not have much in common with the Swiss Alps, but the fight for... Okay, yeah. So when does Trump speak there? And on Wednesday, he'll be here pushing the Team USA message at the time of bewilderment. So yeah, so he's there. Wow, man, Wednesday is going to be literally the craziest day. Massive CPI data, massive jobs data, PCE data, and Trump's going to speak at Davos. Like, that's wild. DCA Ondo, I mean, Ondo's, I think, on the cusp of getting a nice little breakout, if I'm dead honest. If the markets comes with us, I could definitely see Ondo getting a move. How long did the last bull run last, and how long until this one? How long has this one lasted, if this has even started? Well, Mouse, that's the debate. So people believe in, you know, and I guess if you're in the world of specific bull market cycles, then you've got to believe in the 4-year cycle still being a thing, I guess. So, well, where was the? So here's the 2017 peak. So you would argue that the bottom is here. So what are we doing? Bottom to the top, in essence, was 1,043 days. Anyone want to guess what that is in years, by the way? 1,043 days, anyone? 2.85 years. So then take the bottom here. Take the bottom and say, well, what's the top? That was 1,050 days. Oh no! That's what took me to my prediction, by the way, of October, in which I was 2 weeks out of calling the top. So, you know, in theory, you could argue if you were on a 4-year cyclical cycle, you would argue that the top was literally, you know, September, October time. That's why I said the 6th of December, but the 6th of October. Anyway, the debate would be bear markets rally from what? So top to bottom, back in 2017, 378 days, generally a year. Again, top to bottom, 300, what was the bottom? 357-ish days. So then you say, well, bottom to top, where do we get to here? Let's say that was the Pico top. And you say, well, 357 takes us to the bottom of the bear market is 21st September. Then you go into, you know, then we go to parabolic at the end of it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the answer. I mean, the good news is we've already had quite a bit of it. If you were to say that is where it's going to play out, I think there's a lot going on in this market that could see us rally significantly higher yet, but time will tell, and it's whether Donald lets us, I guess, is probably the point here. But yeah. All right, Davos. What have we got in here? Henkin talks of window, nothing there. Mexican billionaire Carlos Slim snaps up asset oil push. Everything's about oil, you see. Veritas targets US, Europe, rare earth deal amid China pushback. State Street eyes further expansion into secondaries. They were looking to get into crypto as well, I believe. Weaponized intel. Okay, we said that, didn't we? Yeah, UAE double trade with India signs long trade. Yeah, have you seen that? India's slapping some tariffs, I think, on the US. That's pretty wild. All pretty interesting, if you ask me. All a bit interesting and a little bit wild. So yeah, this cycle is 100% different from the others due to the fact that this one is about a predominantly led by institutional adoption as well as the Crypto Clarity Act. Exactly. We bought Hawk Tour. We need helmets, F Joe. Someone mentioned that the other day, actually. It's 99.9% down. I mean, it's nearly a year to the day the Trump meme coin launched, and look how that's turned out. For your pattern is only from the 2 or 3 times, can easily change with, yeah, I mean, look, that's where the whole Raoul Pal discussion of liquidity and the idea of the ISM and the PMI index and the fact that the debt rollover is an extra year, which then puts us into a 2026 bull market top. Lots of debate right now. Like I said, some people will be right, some people will not be. I'd like to err on the side that I think, I mean, what else can actually be bad? That's the big question. Like, how bad can it actually get that's worse than what we've already got? Do you know what I mean? That's kind of where I get to. It's like, Jesus, how bad can it actually get? Which is the best Bitcoin mining stocks to buy? I mean, I actually saw that there was quite a few going on. Hut 8's pretty good, I think. What's the other big company as well? The one I think to get into, or certainly to take a look at, is, and I don't buy stocks, so I'm not really that arsed, but there's like a big space race thing right now. That's kind of what you want to get looking at right now, just my opinion. If you know, if we go full send on space race. Right, let's have a look. So Iron is a big Bitcoin mining one. What's the other one that's the Trump one? I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, we looked at Hut 8. That's up 4% today. Just out of interest to let you guys know. Riot, is it Riot? No, Marathon Digital. That's it. That's up 6.5. Yeah, so Bitcoin mining is actually pretty bullish. Lots of them moving, by the way. Lots of them. But yeah, Hut 8's up 4%. Riot Blockchain up 15%. I mean, some of these are big movers. You're probably looking at, well, I mean, I'd just sit tight and see what happens, really. Can you believe Boris Johnson already isn't the worst prime minister ever? Yeah, I mean, that's true. After I saw a video about the Philippines, and they said that the Hawk Tour was invented there. Oh, really? Wow. Top 10 Ondo holders on 73%. Yeah, there's a big unlock this week as well. Iron's most profitable. I mean, I think so. It's probably got cheaper electricity back down in Australia, hasn't it? But yeah. Anyway, that's who would have thought we'd be looking at crypto mining stocks? That's definitely not. I did not think that was going to be on the cards tonight. All right. Have the pre-markets changed at all? Let's take a quick look. Cypher mining. Yeah, they were doing pretty well. All right, pre-market. Well, marginally better. Not anything super crazy, but marginally better. Commodities still look like they're going to absolutely rip on open, and Asia looks pretty flat as well. So yeah, they all look pretty flat. I'm not seeing anything going on with BlackRock's wallet. We don't want to see any sort of buying. We don't want to see any selling off there. BFS. Well, I don't know what that is. Give me a clue. Give me a clue, bro. All right. Where are we at right now? I tell you what, the stream's already been 1 hour and 5 minutes. Where did that go? Where did that stream go? All right. Let's just chat. Let's just last, 10, 15 minutes. Let's just kick it. Let's see what you guys have got. Let's see what's on your minds. What are you buying? What are you selling? Are you in? Are you out? Are you shaking it all about? Let us know in the chat. Likewise on TikTok, by the way, if you want to just drop a comment. Maybe you're brand new to crypto and you're like, man, I just don't want to ask this question. Just ask it, all right? Just ask it. XRP is screwed. Going to be 3 years before it's worth selling. I mean, depends what you bought in on it, I guess. Moto G, depends what you bought in. XDC is good to buy now. I mean, XDC is an interesting one. It's, do we have XDC on my charts? Maybe I don't. I'll have to bring that up on CoinMarketCap. The new Fed chairman needs votes to cut aggressive. I don't think he'll get the votes to cut. Yeah, I mean, Myron would be up for it. Waller, I think, will be up for it. It depends. Depends if Jerome sits in there. Remember, he could sit on till 2028 or something insanely. How about data sentence for investment? I mean, yeah. You got to be careful of the AI bubble, though. And as much as people go, well, it's not a bubble, it is. 100% it's a bubble. And that bubble will pop right now. XDC is what? 790 million. Man, is that what it is right now? That's insane. And it's never changed, has it? XDC volume is awful, though. 27.6. It's up 50% today. But again, that just means it's about 13 million a day. It's terrible. Terrible. Elon Tesla have new coins coming out in January 26. Optimus related. Nice. Well, 5K XRP at 1.9 yesterday. Nice. Like it. Like your style. FGS is driving another 500 miles in a truck that gets 9 MPG. Bruh, what? My Galaxy stock's up. Nice, Mike. I have a Wrangler. I know the feeling, the gas guzzler. Yeah. That's why Trump's trying to bring the price of oil down. That's how you're going to feel it. You're like, oh my God, look how cheap. Bear in mind, your oil is way cheaper than what we pay over here. I mean, it's terrifying, some of the costs we pay for bloody fuel. XTC is the best, but still dead till regs. Yeah, I mean, the whole ISO stuff, and equally when the Clarity Act it does, if hopefully gets signed off, then we should be fine with some of these coins. Particularly, you know, things like XTC, XRP, HBAR, Algorand. I think all of those will have a decent run once that gets signed off. It's just a case of how long it's going to take. Hopefully we can get it in by the end of this month. That could be bullish. That could be good news if they can. Whether they will or not is a bigger debate, but let's hope they do. Let's hope it. 2.89 in Pennsylvania. Yeah, but isn't that a gallon, though? Isn't it $2.89 a gallon? So we pay, what do we pay here? Like $1.77, I think. GBP. A litre, by the way. That's to a litre. So that's $2.38 a litre. How many gallons do you get in a litre? Is it 4 litres to a gallon? Yeah, 4.5 litres. So we pay over $10 a gallon. It's like $11 a gallon. What? $11 a gallon? Like, you kidding me right now? No wonder we're skint over here. Anyway, that's fine. I always said data centers should be in space. Well, isn't that, I saw something about that. People said, like, isn't that like a genuine serious topic of debate right now? Put data centers in space, Elon. Could be pretty wild. Could be pretty wild. Put them in space. I bought diesel for $2.88. Nice. Yeah, honestly, yeah. It's literally $2 something a litre over here. It's like £1.77. So yeah, two whatever I said. That's a litre. Think about that, bro. It's crazy. 1 litre of gas now is 91 cents. Yeah, well, that's not what we're paying. BTC CME gap was filled last night, which should satisfy the market makers. Whales will buy now and push the price up. Let's hope so. Market open's going to be the big one. Market open will be the big one. 1 litre of fuel is the same price as 1 egg in the US. That's true. That is true. So currently futures, yeah, Bitcoin futures are pricing in a negative 2.7. So, you know, maybe we sort of see BTC hover, not really do a lot. I didn't notice the USDC, USDT claim, by the way. The fact that we've got very little moving across into those in stablecoin capitulations is interesting. Just in my view. But, yeah. All right. By the way, 105 people in the live stream right now. Do me a quick favor, by the way. Hit the like button. It does help out the channel. And if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, definitely hit the subscribe button. Remember, we're bringing content out every day. I'm definitely trying some stuff at the minute. So it might feel a bit clunky. Like some of you might be like, oh, hold on a minute. Too bit like, where the hell's all the XRP videos? I've sort of, I wouldn't say I've pivoted away from XRP, but I'm just going to try and cover a bit more macro stuff. I think that's probably a sensible idea. And I want to try and really start to just get the channel moving again. It's, you know, you can look at all the other channels at the minute. They're all like super, super challenging. And, you know, people are struggling unless you're like a super huge channel. So just trying a few things different. Again, if you enjoy my content, hit it up, drop it a like on it. It'd be great. So you'll see I did, you know, kind of way more specific and probably slightly longer as well. So, so far so good, by the way. Good retention, good view counts. On the back of some, you know, some kind of pretty challenging view videos. So again, if you want to support the channel, just go and watch those videos. Hit the like button, drop a comment. It does massively appreciated on the channel, by the way. And yeah, don't forget as well, you have the community tab where you can all type your own stuff in there. Some of you guys do it. It's exactly what it's for, all right? So get over there, cast your votes. Robert Dover there, look, giving his view, as well as many others, by the way. So loads of you guys post on here as well, which is super bullish. So get involved. Again, you can keep up to date with everything going on with the channel. Appreciate it. I save fuel by pushing my car to work. Nice, Stu. Good logic. Or turning the engine off going downhill. Remember, don't take the keys out of the ignition, otherwise the wheel stops. Oh, not great. Matthew, thank you for the rose, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, buddy. Good interaction, sense of humor. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Mike Bennett. It's good to be different, but you know where the views are, although I like the macro info. Yeah, true, but if you remember, I pivoted to XRP a long time before other people. And I think I will be able to weave, so I might try some stuff tonight, which is like weave an XRP narrative into a broader macro conversation. But yeah, I'm just trying to get things moving and get a way more consistent view count, way more consistent in terms of the algorithm pushing the channel and all that kind of stuff, rather than just launching videos out for the sake of it, actually being quite strategic, and try and just be a bit more sensible with it. So again, if you watch it, I always welcome any feedback. If you're like, 2-bit, that last video was crap, like I don't like it. I don't like the fact that you're not doing the B-roll cuts as much. Like I prefer it when you, like all of that. It's all about trying to grow the channel and trying to grow the community, and, you know, hopefully we can all be macro bullish. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I think, you know, it's an interesting conversation. I know we're going slightly off the crypto market here, but it is an interesting conversation because arguably you could get loads of views, by the way, right? On videos, but if your watch time's garbage, actually it doesn't convert very well. You want high watch time. My watch time's about 16%, which is pretty big actually. It means people watch my videos, which is kind of nice. It's comforting. So yeah, so I appreciate it. Whoa, what's going on? Shanarara, welcome to the channel membership. Thank you so much indeed. Welcome in. By the way, if you are in our free Discord, let me know what your username is. I'm going to give you access to our free Discord and, well, to the premium section of the free Discord. Are you kidding me right now? That's where all the cool cats hang out. It's definitely, in my opinion, worth it. Just give you a quick sneak peek of what that looks like, FYI. And anyone else that's thinking about joining, you get access to all these cool ass little bits. You can come over here, you can grab some charts. Maybe you're thinking a bit fruity, you want to take a look at something. It even gives you a full breakdown, as you can see here. Craig was looking at sand last night. It's going to give you its view on RSI. It's going to give you a view on anything. You can be like this. Hey, I want to look at some TA. All right, you're like, oh, what's the TA I want to look at? I want to look at TA for BTC right now. Couple of clicks. Bob's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. Boom, it's telling us what's going on with BTC. I can click and take a look at the chart all in our Discord. Are you kidding me right now? That's super crazy bullish. There it is. Brings the chart up. I can take a look at it. You can even get it to do some TA as well. So if you're interested, then grab that channel membership, just as Shanna did. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, if you do have a Discord, that's you lot chatting, by the way, only because I need to just change this around, then let me know and we'll give you full access to that premium Discord service. It is bullish, if you ask me. All right, there we are. I'm back. Cool. But welcome in. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Kevin says, good evening from Lakeland, Florida. What's going on, Kev? Good to see you, man. Zebek looks like it has potential legs. Yeah, Zebek's been moving big time. This wick is crazy. Look at that wick of the 20-day EMA, by the way. That is insane right now. 20-day EMA is bullish. Watch out. 20-day. That's where it's all at. That is where we're actually seeing super crazy moves off these price actions. Again, though, you know, you'd argue right now, Zebek holding above the 20 EMA, which could be bullish. Like, this is a good indicator. Whenever it loses it, we see a push down. This lower end chart line that we've had on here for a while. It isn't Aisha Anaraya. What? It Aisha Anonara. There we go. I like with all the manipulating crypto YouTube means nothing, respectfully. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's why, if you notice that I'm definitely trying to pivot away from like, oh, the bull market, like we're going to the freaking moon. Shannon Aurora. There we go. Shannon Aurora. Welcome in. Cool ass in green, FYI. To try and understand beyond this, because, market manipulation, however you want to call it, for me, it's about, okay, what's happening at a macro level? It'd be dead easy to like bosh a video on that's like, XRP is going to the moon. XRP to $500, 3,000 people probably watch it. But actually, does that give anyone any value? Probably not. Probably not, if I'm dead honest. And actually, when you look at kind of what's out there right now, and certainly what people are kind of talking about, there is a significant element of hopium right now. People are kind of like, oh, just watch anything that's hopefully bullish. But yeah, like I said, my view is trying to kind of do the right thing and pivot. And I think where I've probably gone wrong a little bit is, people are like, you got to make a decision, aren't you? Like super bullish on one thing. So like if you look at XRP that's exploding, so Crypto Sensei, Oscar Ramos, all they talk about is XRP. That's it. They don't do anything else. XRP. All right, cool. Well, I could have chose to do that, but I think, I want to be a bit more broader macro, a bit more broader market structure. That's kind of where I want to be at. So you have to make a decision. My decision is kind of that. And hopefully that plays out more favorably for the channel and we can just really knuckle down on core, key, fundamentals, and structural bits of the market. All right. Discord username is 409 Algo. What? Hi from Australia. Feel like one of the most even understands what Bitcoin is. People a bit slow with it. Yeah. I know that feeling. Are we still bullish? X6? Not sure yet. A lot of Oscar fans come here. Yeah, let's look. You know me. I don't start any beef in this market. I can't be bothered with it. Arguing with other people makes no money at all for nobody. I can't be bothered with it. And I respect anyone that's got the grind and anyone that's prepared to go out there and, you know, put themselves in front of the camera and stand by what they stand for. Like, go for it. That's my opinion. So, you know, I'm making a decision now that I want to be probably a bit more macro. That may hurt me in the long run. I might have to change my mind, but that's my view. That's my view. Hey, sir, is this live stream from New York? No, it's from God's own county, Yorkshire in the United Kingdom. That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at right now. God made the world, and then he made Yorkshire. So understand that. Macro 2-bit. That's me. That's me. Well, you know, we can get into a bit of nuance, and we'll get into a little bit of specifics as we need to, but I think where I had is like macroeconomic data, Bitcoin, and then XRP video. The two just clashed, and actually my views and retention were going down. So they're two very different watches. So we'll do macro stuff. I might try and weave a little bit of a macro XRP video into a macro Bitcoin video, but so far, we'll see. All right, we'll see. A plan is a plan, and I'm going to stick to the plan. So, as always, I appreciate you guys' support for sure. All right, everybody. 10 past the hour. We've been live for about an hour and 20 minutes. Thoughts on Quant? I mean, Quant was kind of moving, wasn't it? I looked at it earlier on. I thought Quant was green. Yeah, it is. 5.5%. I mean, it's kind of insane. It is like a proper pumper and dumper as Quant, but yeah, this could rally back to $100 easily. Crazy. It's crazy, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, the whole ISO thing, it'll move with XDC, you know, Algorand, XRP, all those kind of things. Yeah. But F Justice. Oh, love it. I love it. Didn't recognize you with that Yankee accent. Is that me? Yeah. I stuck YouTube on this morning. Most of the crypto channels had crypto crashes in their titles. I thought, I'm not watching. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, it's a little bit like the weather. The weather today was sunny, and you're like, well, I know. I've been outside most of it. What are you talking about? I know what the weather's like today. Tell me what the weather's. Tell me what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. That's what I want to know. And that's kind of where I want to pivot the channel a little bit to. You know, if this happens, then this is the potential outcome of it, and this is what you need to be aware of, rather than, oh, the market's crashed. Here's why the market's crashed, and yeah, see you tomorrow for another video. You're like, oh, hell. Anyway, like I said, we may pivot. Who knows? I want to. Like anything in this game, if you stand still, then essentially your channel dies. So we want to pivot, try some different things, you know, try and keep as bullish as we can do. Bring some odd project reviews in. That'd be nice. So yeah, look out for some of those actually. Look out. It's going to be good. Vet is going to 27.45 this bull run, in my opinion. Nice. That's in V-Chain. All good, Beebs. Thank you, mate. Thank you for tuning in. I know crypto is crashing. I'm looking at CMC. Exactly. Crypto crash. Oh, no. What did my title say? I can't remember what my video said. It was something like, what now or something, right? What did it say? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. What did my video say? What next, I think it was, right? Honestly, can't remember. How bad is that? That's bad. That's bad, bro. Oh, yeah. The crypto market just crashed. Here's what's coming next this week. All right, yeah. See, that's what it's about. You know the market's going to zero. The market's going to zero. Don't worry about it. What's important is what is coming next. What do you need to look at that animation, by the way? I did that myself. Bullish. Bullish. Right. Anyway, everybody, that does bring us to the end of the stream. Feels a little bit of a abrupt, but BTC selling off a little bit. 92,837. Remember, market structure right now is important. Look out. It might be painful. What is the market sentiment? Bearish right now. Futures are bad. Bitcoin futures are negative. So expect some pretty nasty opens. You got about 2 hours UK time till market opens. That's going to be pretty interesting. Again, US futures will open as well. So let's see how it looks. It's going to be pretty interesting. But don't forget, we'll be back with all of everything going on in the markets tomorrow. I mean, Bitcoin is dumping hard right now, actually. Look at that. Bitcoin is going big old sell-off. Here we go. Look, dump the market. They're dumping it. Ah! It's because I'm finishing the live stream. Everyone's like, right, dump the market. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. There you go, look. There you go. Dumperino. Who would be in the crypto market? Hey, Sui down 8%. I mean, are you kidding me right now? And it's getting worse. Who would be in this market? It's all nonsense. All right, let's go and buy stocks and land and retail. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it. Keep your eyes on the markets. We'll be back tomorrow night with all the latest and greatest in the crypto market. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for another show. All right, take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.